What's going on, people? Alyork Sports. On my break time, I got to make sure I punch out on time. Yeah, real talk, man. Great NFL Sunday yesterday and Saturday. Also some terrific games. I want to start off, get this popping right off the rip. You know what I'm saying? You got the 7-7 New England Patriots versus the 6-8 Los Angeles Raiders. A great game in Allegiant Field. Raiders were up early. Patriots found a way back, kind of took over the game late, and was looking like they were going to win the game. Raiders got two huge breaks. I don't know how they got these breaks because, you know, there's a future bet on the Raiders that if they win over 3.5 home games out of 9 games that they have, which was minus 170, the books are going to get killed. So me and my boys off the rip already thought that they wasn't going to win yesterday. You know, I teased them up to 7. Thank God for that. I won. They lost by 6, but I liked them also straight. Jeff liked them straight. And they should have won straight. The 3.5 wins, yesterday was their 4th home win. They would have lost yesterday. They would have had to face Frisco and Chiefs. And if them games meant anything, you know those teams are better than the Raiders. I mean, Frisco and Chiefs are like NFL possible contenders again. So we really thought the Raiders was going to lose yesterday, as they should have. They got that break on that touchdown call. It was clear that the dude's foot was out of bounds. I mean, like I said, listen, my second team is the Raiders, but I'm keeping it 100. It got nothing to do with who's my team, whatever. The guy was out of bounds. It was clear cut out of bounds, and they gave him that break. And then I don't know what the hell the Patriots were thinking when they fling the ball. Okay, you fling it once, I get it. But for that wide receiver to fling it all the way back to Mac Jones by himself with 3 Raiders defenders, it really got me thinking, like, what the fuck he was thinking, what the fuck was up. That might have been the craziest game I've seen. Now, I know the miraculous reception with Franco Harris was crazy, and that made it better because that was a bigger game. That was playoffs and shit like that. But I never in my life think I ever seen something to that degree. Now, I've seen guys throw it in the end zone, and I lost the cover, the spread, but never in a tie game. In a tie game, they don't do that fling-flang shit. You know, they go into overtime. And that was a miracle win for the Raiders, the way they won. Congratulations to the Raiders, who's been through every fucked up possible loss you could think about in the last 2 years. They finally got, kind of like stuff going their way. And I did say the tables were going to turn, but I didn't know to that degree. That was a giving game, and that might be the game now that'll get them to the point where they got the Steelers, Frisco, and Chiefs. And who knows, if they win all 3 of those games, they can make the playoffs. And good luck to the Raiders. I hope that happens. Lucky win, 30-24 victory in regulation. Let me give you some numbers. Mac Jones, 13 for 31, 112 yards. Stevenson, 19 rushes, 172 yards, 1 touchdown. And Myers, 2 receptions, 47 yards. For the Raiders, you got Carr, 20 for 38, 231, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jacobs, 22 for 92. Jacobs been holding it down, bro. Every fucking game, he's 100 plus, or damn near. Cole, 2 receptions, 50 yards. Devontae Adams was taken away by Belichick. Didn't matter as the Raiders prevail, 30-24. Game number 2, another crazy game. 6-8 Jacksonville Jaguars versus the 10-4 Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys lost 40-34. They was up 21 points in this game, and there's no fucking way that my team should have lost this game. Period. I'm not making no excuses. This is why I think that my team is not going to win it all, because of shit like this. So when people tell me, yo, Al, you ain't giving your team enough respect. Al, I don't understand how you don't believe in your team. This is why. You cannot lose a game like this, especially to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars got a lot of good players, but they do not know how to play amongst each other. As you can see, their record was 5-8 before that. Now they 6-8. And this was a real fucked up loss for the Cowboys and a dramatic win for Sunshine and company. Some numbers. Trevor Lawrence, 27-42, 318, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. Idian, 19 rushes, 103 yards. Zay Jones, 6 receptions, 102 yards, 3 touchdowns. Zay Jones is very, very underrated. Then you got the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, 23 for 30, 256, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks, and that big pick in overtime to put them out of business. Pollard, 19 rushes, 75 yards. CeeDee Lamb, 7 receptions, 120 yards, as the Cowboys lost a game they should have won. And I hope now that everybody sees what I see. And my team just ain't going to win, man. Until we can stop fucking up games like this, we're never going to win it all. We'll have a winning record. We'll look good. We'll look like champions. But we'll never will win another Super Bowl until we get it right. Yeah, let me punch out now before I do it too late. Okay. Let me go to game number 3. I got to move quick. 8-5 New York Giants versus the 7-6 Washington Redskins in a very intriguing Sunday night football game. It was an early game. They flip-flopped the New England game with the Giant game. Both of them were great games, although the New England game was like incredible. But this was a very well-played game by the New York Football Giants, who I gave out +4.5. And I also gave out the Cowboys -3 and up 21, and they fucking choked. Like I said, no excuses. They choked. But the G-Man stepped up, handled their business. Defensively, that young boy Thibodeau was all over the field, and now I see why the G-Man picked him up as their first pick. Thibodeau is the fucking truth. He's a ball hawk, all over the quarterback, all over the field. There was a play, he chased the quarterback down like 20 yards down the field. Salute to Thibodeau and salute to the New York Football Giants for winning a dramatic 2012 game and an amazing fourth quarter stop. Washington was after 1 and they could not get it in. Penalty moved them back. They could not get it in as the G-Man won 20-12. Let me give you some numbers. You got Jones, 21 for 32, 160, no touchdown, no picks. Barkley, 18 for 87, 1 touchdown. And then you had James, 4 receptions, 42 yards. For the Commanders, Taylor Heineke, 17 for 29, 249, 1 touchdown. Robinson, who's extremely good. Him and Gibby and the other guy they got, I think it's Henderson. I might be wrong. 3 good backs. Washington got a lot of quality players. Robinson, 12 for 89. And Dotson, 4 receptions, 105 yards. Another good receiver behind McLaurin. Washington is stacked. But the G-Man came and made a statement. Took this game. Now they 8-5. Washington 76. They got the tiebreaker. Salute to the G-Man. Okay, let me go to game number 4. 7-7 Detroit Lions versus the 7-7 New York Football Jets. In the game that the Detroit led most of the way. Jets got the lead late. Jets had them 4th and inches. Detroit faked the handoff, went over the top. 50-yard touchdown. Zach Wilson bring them back into field goal range. Field goal kicker came up short once again as the Lions defeated the Jets 20-17 in a real good game. I mean, Zach Wilson played his ass off. Let me give y'all some numbers. Real great game. I mean, you had Goff, 23 for 38. 252, 1 touchdown. Swift, 8 rushes, 52 yards. St. Brown, 7 receptions, 76 yards. Wilson, 18 for 35, 317, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Wilson did not lose the game. Salute to Zach Wilson. Well-played game. The field goal kicker cannot connect from 50 yards on 2 different occasions, and that was the difference in the ball game. Then you got Knight, 13 rushes, 23 yards, and Garrett Wilson, 4 receptions, 98 yards, as the Detroit Lions defeated the New York Football Jets in a very, very important game for the Jets, 20-17. Last but not least, we're going to go to Sunday night, 4-9 Indianapolis Colts versus the 11-3 Minnesota Vikings. Matty Ice has to be the biggest choker in football history. I had Dak Prescott, I got Tony Romo there, I got Kirk Cousins there. But Matty Ice got the record. He lost the 2 biggest leads ever. One in the Super Bowl 28-3 with like 2 minutes in the third quarter. Nobody even lost the lead like that ever, but to lose that lead with 1 minute or 2 minutes left in the third quarter makes it even that much worse. To the New England Patriots when the Patriots beat them in the Super Bowl. Then on Saturday, the Colts led 33-zip. I was mad as fuck. I had Minnesota on 2 money line tickets, and I also had them in the contest, which lost because I had them 3.5. But the money lines won. Thank God for that. The Minnesota Vikings came from a 33-zip deficit to defeat the Indianapolis Colts 39-36. An incredible comeback. And what makes it more amazing is that Kirk Cousins led the charge. A guy who's known for choking. I got him top 4, top 5 chokers ever in football. And he's the guy that led this surge and led them to victory. Salute to Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings for a hell of a comeback. Terrible loss for Jeff Saturday, Matt Ryan and company. I mean, they was looking pumped early. They was shaking hands. They was celebrating. And before you know it, the Minnesota Vikings came back from a 33-point deficit, a record, to come back to beat them 39-36. Let me give you some numbers. Matty Ice, 19 for 33, 182 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Moss, 24 rushes, 81 yards. Pittman, 10 for 60 receiving. Minnesota Vikings, Cousins, 34 for 54, 464 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Cook, 17 rushes, 95 yards. Osborne, 10 receptions, 157 yards, 1 touchdown. And Jefferson had 123 yards with 10 receptions. Jefferson's an animal. They got a lot of weapons in that team. I just don't believe in Kirk Cousins. But great win for the Skullheads and the Minnesota Vikings. 39-36. This your Break Time Sports. Alyork Sports. The raw truth. I love y'all. Hold your heads, y'all. 100.